All right, we are 7 o'clock. I'm going to go ahead and call the meeting to order. Do we have any guests? I don't see any. Looking at it, it looks like everyone here is either a member or an alternate. So we can move on from that. We appear to have quorum. And I see, or I did see, where did she go? Our Vacaville School Board member, Kelly Welsh, is present. So if she would be so kind as to read the land acknowledgement once Tom brings it up, I would appreciate that.
The land acknowledgement. We pause to acknowledge that Solano County Democratic Central Committee of the Democratic Party sits on the land of the Miwok and Patwin people. We remember their continued connection to this region and give thanks to them for allowing us to live, work, learn, and pray in their traditional homeland. We offer respect to their elders and the Miwok and Patwin people of the past and present.
Thank you so much for doing that. Before we move on to the minutes and agenda, I just want to remind everyone of our request to be respectful and courteous of each other as we're engaging in discussion this evening and every evening. And again, try to focus on issues, not personalities. I know that's come up from time to time, so I'm just reminder that we're all adults, so we should pretend to act like it occasionally. Minutes. Tom, are you able to display the minutes quickly for people? I know Corey did an excellent job on those, but
I did send them earlier, if that would be helpful.
I got them. Hold on, I just gotta bring them up. Yeah, fine.
again, and I know that they were sent out earlier. Does anyone have any additions, deletions, or corrections to last month's minutes? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
I make a motion that we accept the minutes as presented. This is Deborah Dixon.
All right, and Paul, I see your hands up.
I'll second that.
All right. Seeing no other hands, we'll go ahead and launch the poll.
Looks like everyone has voted. Okay. Minutes pass.
Excellent. The next item is the agenda for tonight's meeting.
I move that we approve the agenda. This is Paula.
Supervisor Brown seconds it.
Okay. Did anyone have any additions, corrections, or deletions for the agenda?
Oh,
Don't see any hands up. So we will go ahead and launch the poll.
Dr. Hamilton, you're coming in when we are voting on the agenda. See, your audio just went live. So if you could go ahead and vote.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. The agenda passes.
Ooh. All right, we are at 7:08, and even though we have no guests per se, I'll open the meeting for public comment at this time. Anyone has public comment they wish to make, please raise their hand. I am seeing nothing popping up, so we'll go ahead and close our public comment. Also at 7:08, and we'll move on to announcements. If you have an announcement to make about your campaign or a coordinated effort you're doing, this would be the appropriate time to raise your hand and make that announcement.
Hi, everyone. I have an announcement for my campaign. I'm running for the Fairfield System School Board. As you can see, I'm currently in the Democratic headquarters. We are getting it done. We are in GOTV mode officially right now. We need all the support we can get. Phone banking, canvassing. We need everything pretty much. We have some upcoming walks with, I'm one of the CLC endorsed candidates. So I'd love for you people to come to the CLC walk for me and our other CLC candidates. We're also doing phone banking pretty much every day here at the Democratic headquarters in Fairfield. So if you're interested in phone banking free, we have like enough lists for you. And then if you're interested in phone banking or walking, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my phone number and email in the chat, and I'll definitely let you know of upcoming times. We pretty much can do anything any single day because we're only 13 days till the election. So any day that you're available, we are doing something. So I would love to see some friendly faces, friendly Democratic faces, to make sure that we can go out and make sure we have elect me the pro-Democrat, pro-CLC candidate to this race. Thank you so much.
Thank you for that, Jack. Of course, ordinarily it's customary to raise your hand and wait to be called on, but okay. Glenn, I do believe you have a phone bank to announce coming up. So I'm going to call on you to make that announcement now.
Yeah, certainly. Thanks, Don. Thank you, Chair. Hi, everyone. Glenn Lovell here from Solano Democratic Workers Alliance. Happy to report 2 big events going on to be supporting Democratic candidates across central and northern portions of Solano. Really exciting event. We've been working with the candidates for this Saturday to assemble at Solano Democratic headquarters for the endorsed candidates and measures there at 9 a.m. Of course, here at Solano Dems HQ on Fairfield. And then Wednesday of next week, have communicated with the chair and with Jeannie at Northern Solano Democrats regarding a big Democratic phone bank to be conducted on Zoom Wednesday of next week. This will be on Wednesday, November 2nd, 4 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. on Zoom. This phone bank will be to likely Dem voters in support of Democratic endorsed candidates and measures across central and northern Solano County. That's Fairfield, Suisun, Vacaville, Dixon, and all associated school districts and ballot measures. So very exciting time. Please, everybody, keep an eye out. We circulated the updates prior to the meeting. Happy to get it to anyone who wants to attend and make the big effort both on the grounds and on the phones to get those Democratic majorities in the county and across our cities. Thank you.
Thank you, Glenn. Jeanette, I see your hand up next.
I just wanted to say we are counting down the days also in the Vacaville City Council race for District 6. The 3 other candidates are kind of ramping things up. So I'm out there working, and with help of about 15 dedicated walkers, we have handed out close to 2,000 of the 2,600 Democratic things we have. And the other ones are getting all organized and ready. I will tell you, I was walking this weekend and knocked a door and gave her that door hanger, and she said, "Oh, I've been wanting that. I tried to find it and I couldn't find it online, so thank you." Today I had it for a man and he said, "Oh, thank you. I found it online." So people are looking for the Democratic door hangers and just the recommendations. And the Northern Clubs card, a woman brought that to one of my meetings and was telling other people, "Did you get this? This is very helpful." And so it really does help to have all those kind of touches. So it's been great to be able to have help and handed those out. Most of the people are just walking on their own time. I give them the list and the information and they do it when they can fit it. And I've got some very dependable people. Thank you, Jeannie White and the other people who have been walking for that race. I will say I've had a lot of support from the labor unions as well. So we're trying to be able to get this through and come back with a win. So thanks.
Thank you, Jeanette. Miguel, I see your hand next.
Yes, I don't know if this is the appropriate place to bring it up. Maybe I should wait to the end. We Latinos, some Latinos are having a meeting tomorrow with Congressman Garamendi. And can I continue or should I wait till later?
Go ahead.
Okay, we're having a meeting with him tomorrow at 2 o'clock at Buttercup. We've reserved a room there. He wants to meet with some of the Latino doers and makers and the people that are active, about 8 to 10 people, not a big crowd. I have a group of people, Minas hunting. We've got about 8 people lined up. I could use a few more. The ones I've got lined up all have jobs and they can't get away at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I originally set it up for an evening meeting at my house and I was going to put out a spread and whatever. And it turns out that Money doesn't like to drive at night. So we're doing it in the afternoon at Buttercup at 2 o'clock. If you have any Latino blood, no. If you know of any Latino readers that you're connected to or something, could you please let me know? There's that one young guy that is running in Dixon, and we interviewed him. His name escapes me. Does anybody know?
Julian Cuevas.
Again, please.
Julian Cuevas.
That's it. Julian, what is it?
I believe so. Julian Cuevas.
Yes, that's what. Anybody has his number, could email it to me. It's Miguel. My email is Miguel Donaldo, one word, Miguel Donaldo at yahoo.com.
Okay.
Okay, that's all I got. Thank you.
Great. Sounds good. Brigitte.
Hi, everybody. I too am at headquarters here today. Just want to give everybody a heads up. We are doing our, again, get out the vote weekend here because there's nothing scarier than a Republican majority. We're going to do some Halloween theming for our canvases and phone banking this weekend. So if you come in, there'll be candy and all kinds of extra fun stuff for you. So please come in, canvass with Glenn in the morning, phone bank with us. We'll be here all weekend. And then also you should have received the email today with the information about our election night party. And again, if you have volunteered in any way, that is completely free for you. So please follow up and come join us for the fun. Thank you.
Great. Sounds good. I'm just quickly checking. I don't see any other hands. I just remind everyone, as was said, 13 days to go. And according to the election tracker that PDI is putting out as of this morning, only 8% of the ballots in Solano County have been returned. So there's still plenty of room to reach out to our Dems and get them to vote for our people. So let's get the job done on that. Seeing no other announcements, next up is our treasurer's report. If you'd be so kind, Paula.
So the actual report got sent out earlier. The bottom line is the federal account as of yesterday had a little over $1,000. The state account had a little over 3,200. We got all of the headquarters costs covered with the federal account. Primarily because someone loaned us about $2,000 to cover the printing costs. We're still unable to cash the double good check for $2,700 because we're still waiting for one person to get us their store information. And I didn't realize it until I did this last report. So we're paying the storage fee of $100 a month, which I would think the storage unit should be empty since we keep the stuff there for the headquarters. So I'm not sure that we should still be paying that, but we are. That's my report.
All right, thank you. Appreciate that. Moving on to other reports from our officers. I will say that I had the opportunity to speak to the Rio Vista Democratic Club's Board of Directors this month, in addition to the usual round of club meetings that I attend. And I was very glad for the opportunity to talk with them. And I was able to hang out briefly at the Jewish Democratic Club's event, even though I had to spend most of the time actually getting some work done on behalf of the Central Committee. But it was a good event at headquarters. Those of you who made it had a good time. At least you sounded like you had a good time. So glad that you could join us. And I would just encourage the rest of the clubs, please, as you have your meetings, I look forward to getting your invitations and trying to attend as we move forward. Northern Vice Chair, do you have anything to report?
Just to highlight what the treasurer said, that we're getting with our funds, we're looking for fundraisers. If you can think of something that we can do, please, I'm looking for all suggestions. I mean, that sounds like my cry every month, but it is. Thank you.
Great. And not just ideas, but also a pair of helping hands to help put those fundraisers on. Secretary, do you have anything to report other than the minutes that you sent out?
Corey, that's you.
I think he's trying to unmute himself.
I don't think he heard you.
I'm sorry. I didn't hear the question. Could you repeat it,
I was
please?
just asking if you had anything to report other than the minutes.
Oh, yes. Just very quickly. I've done minutes for a lot of different organizations. And I gotta say, some of the trickiest ones to get nailed down are the Dems, because there are a lot of moving parts in a lot of different places. And I think I've got it pretty well sorted out. But if I happen to make any mistakes, please have mercy on me and let me know so I can adjust them. I think I've got it, but this is a big, complicated group. And if I mess anything up, please let me know. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Information and resource officer, anything to report this month?
Just working with candidates and campaigns, if they need any reports from PDI, or also if they need any kind of data out of PDI, meaning email list or have a phone bank set up, whatever needs to happen, we can do that. I know I've been working with 5 different campaigns so far that took me up on the offer that I made after our endorsements. So just working with that.
Great. I appreciate all the hard work that you're putting in on this, and hopefully our candidates have had the good sense to thank you as well. Elected officials report. Do we have any reports for Congress for Mike Thompson? Did we get a report? I don't remember seeing a written report.
I sent one in.
Okay. All
It
right.
was early. It was early.
Ah, that's probably why I don't remember seeing it. All right. I don't see anyone with us for Monday. Senator Dodd's report. Anything for this month? She was here. Oh, it's like,
I don't
Deborah was
see her in
here,
the
but I think
participant
she's
list.
gone.
okay.
Yeah, she's no longer in the participants list.
Okay, well, moving on then, do we have, well, I don't see anyone who has any of our assembly members present with us. So Supervisor Brown, do you have anything you wish to share wearing that hat?
Just real fast, yesterday I voted no on giving $7 million in rescue plan money, 4 million, or there were 5 projects, 4 to go to the 2 county parks, which is the Solano County Park and the beach. I was not happy of giving 1.5 million to build a parking lot at Mancus Corner. We had discussed at the board that we would wait till we heard all of the asks before we voted. We are now down to about 13-14 million. So I know there's not going to be enough money for everything. And I just didn't like voting on something when we had a discussion, and I get really irritated. So I can hardly wait for Wanda to be with me, just FYI. So other than that, we're fine. I did get a nice thank you for a note from a constituent, and I mentioned it yesterday at the board meeting, who thanked me because in my weekly newsletters, I list all of the places one can get a job. And she clicked on the postal service and she got hired as a carrier. And she said, thank you, I'm now going to be making a good wage. So that makes up for some of the negativity that I have to deal with on the 6th floor. So thank you for letting me vent.
All right, thank you. Moving on to our clubs. Jewish Democratic Club, do you have anything you wish to report?
Yes, as a matter of fact, we do. Our attempts at getting the wine tasting off the ground, I think we're probably a bit premature, and the ticket price was a little high. So we pivoted and decided instead to go to Democratic headquarters on that day in Fairfield and do some phone banking. And we're reevaluating what we can do in terms of, a fundraiser and something I think a little more accessible to the public, maybe like a picnic when things start warming up, besides that, I wanted to say that we did advance a resolution on Iran. at our last meeting, and I actually want to make sure that the Central Committee gets a copy of that resolution. So I think I'd like to submit it here if we haven't already. I've got to make sure and see if we haven't submitted that to you guys yet. But I'd like that to be something that we consider. This is a very popular resolution. It's got a lot of backing throughout the entire state, and there's nothing terribly controversial in signing on to it. But I'd like to submit that to the resolution committee as soon as possible if we haven't already.
Okay. If you haven't submitted it already, please do so, so that they can bring it forward at a future meeting. Make sure, before I call her, make sure she's still here. Karen with Rio Vista Club, do you have anything to report?
Yes, actually, I do. I want to, first of all, say thank you to you for coming out and having an opportunity to chat with our executive board. We learned some things, and we certainly enjoyed getting the information from you for your new position as president. So thanks again for coming out. We also had an exciting Bass Festival. I also want to take time out to thank Jeannie White and Nancy Federley, as well as Richard White, for coming out and helping us get through those 3 days. We had really good participation and good comments from the residents of Rio Vista, particularly the Democratic voters, who really appreciated us being there. So that was really great. We also had Lori Williams come out, as well as Lucy Brazil, field organizer for Mike Thompson. So we had that kind of representation. And then lastly, we are working diligently on the door hangers right now. We're canvassing our neighborhoods and our villages and getting those out and getting some comments from the residents who were receiving. Really happy to receive those. Happy to see what California Democratic Party has on the ticket for what their suggestions are and their endorsements. So basically that's it. We're moving forward on that and continuing to do this canvassing. Thanks so much for the opportunity to chat.
Thank you. Moving on to the Solano Democratic Workers Alliance. Glenn, anything to report?
Yes, hi everyone. Glenn Lovall, President of Solano Democratic Workers Alliance. As reported earlier, very excited for the walks this Saturday for our Dem candidates, as well as the Democratic candidates for next Wednesday. The phone banks there across central and northern Solano. We'll be putting out updates for our upcoming meeting post-election. The first, based on our calendar, the first meeting post-election would actually fall on Thanksgiving, so we have to make some adjustments on calendar. It's that time of year. But with that said, just want to put the message out there for anyone who's interested. Of course, we're working at identifying, building upon, and advancing the areas of mutual interest between the Democratic Party and the labor movement. We're going to have some really exciting conversations, as well as having a couple of committees under our standard meetings, because of course our general meetings are a good time for everybody to get together, get to know one another, get to know about our respective causes and our areas of common interest. The committee meetings are going to put a lot of focus on where we can build more specific forms of solidarity across our movements, and where we can be working on some great policy on the other side of this election when we've all done the work of getting those Democratic majorities. And that would conclude my report, Chair.
Great, thank you. Stonewall, any club report this month?
Yes, we had to postpone our meeting that was supposed to be last week due to a work conflict for myself. But we are going to be meeting tomorrow night at the Vallejo headquarters. So feel free to join us if you want to be there. We will be doing a hybrid meeting, so that means that we will also be on Zoom.
Awesome, that sounds good. All right, I don't see representatives from the community club or the United Dems with us, or the Sankofa Club.
There's a hand up.
Okay,
Don. United Dems submitted a written report.
okay, yes, that was came in this afternoon, I believe.
No, it came in like a week ago.
Okay,
I can tell you what it said. I mean, we didn't have an official meeting. We had a postcard party here. And in fact, the United Dems sent out 900 postcards to California Democrats who primarily vote in presidential elections, begging them to please vote this time. So they went to districts for Josh Harder, Katie Porter, Rudy Salas, Mike Levin, and Will Rollins.
that's right. It was a progressive report that came in this afternoon. Yours was one of the early ones that went out.
Yeah.
All right, so that was appreciated. And I, again, encourage the clubs to get your reports in writing when possible. Even if I do forget that I have read them already. So that we have all that information about what each club is doing. Moving on to the headquarters committee. Have our two chairs to speak on that. Brigitte, can you share what you have for the Northern headquarters?
Hey, everybody. We've been having a great time here at the Northern headquarters. We've been having lots of great walks coming out of here. We've been having phone bankers every night. We've been having even people texting in here. So all kinds of fun. We want you to come and join us because we're here every day now through the election. We're currently 9 to 6 on weekends, but we're probably going to extend that. And we're a 12 to 8 on weekdays. So please, if you have any questions, contact me, but we'll be here. We have door hangers for you. We have phone lists. If you're a candidate and you need to call people, come here and we'll call with you. Okay. We're here for you. So thank you.
Thank you. And Paula, back to you for the Southern headquarters report.
Yeah, I gotta say, I'm kind of jealous of that. You know, we only endorse 4 people in Southern Solano County and 2 of them are in Benicia. So a headquarters coming to Vallejo isn't really practical for them. And the 2 in Vallejo have chosen not to use it. So the headquarters has been pretty quiet, which is why I started doing postcards. But now postcard time's over. We will have an election night party. I mean, the headquarters are here. They're available. They've been available. They're just not used very much.
I should also announce again, we are having a headquarters party here in the north too, and it should have been sent out by Dawn already and Corey. So just keep an eye out for that in your email box. And if you have any questions, let us know. You're all welcome. Thank you. And
well, if you look at your agenda, coming up next is the election night event. So we have confirmed we have events at both headquarters. Paula, are you planning on any sort of an entrance fee, or is it going to be free for those who wish to attend?
I'm all in favor of making it free.
Okay, so a free party in Vallejo, if you want to go there. And I know that the northern one is a suggested donation of $10, but I doubt we'll turn anyone away. What time is the Vallejo one starting?
Well, we're going to be here all day. So whenever people show up, actually, Tom offered to do the cooking for it. So yay.
Oh, maybe I'll go to Vallejo's instead of Fairfield's then.
we'll
Fairfield,
be
what
having
time?
lots of treats up here too.
What time is the Fairfield one starting off?
6 p.m.
Okay,
But you can come in any time during the day, of course, to join us in phone bank.
all right. So folks, if you are not joining one of the candidates or in between joining one of the candidates at their election night parties, we encourage you to join us at one of the headquarters to see what your money has been going for and celebrate with your fellow Democrats. And Steve Quinlan has a good point. There should be a donation bucket at the door. Of course, I will encourage our treasurer to make sure she's properly recording donations that come on in. And great. And I also do want to highlight a message in chat that Jeanette posted earlier, giving a shout out to Margie Olson, Jim Hardwick, and Glenn Lovell for being awesome walkers with the door hangers, and the Steve and Nancy Federley for all their help with flyer design and social media for her campaign. And I echo those shout outs for all the hard work of our individual volunteers on those efforts.
Don, Bonnie Hamilton's hand is up.
Okay, Bonnie.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just have a question. I really do want to also give a shout out to all the volunteers. And, I have an elderly little dog that I bring in a stroller. Would it be okay if I bring him and keep him in a stroller? I would love to volunteer, and I'd love to come to the election night party, but I do have that restriction.
The dog is
Is there any objection?
Well, my only objection would be if your dog was one of those that yapped constantly so that you couldn't hear your cell phone bank. But other than that, I see no problem with it.
No,
I'm
he's a
assuming your dog is well trained.
Well, he's a 16-year-old Chiweenie, so he doesn't have that much spunk in him to bark that much. But thank you very much.
Cool. All right. Double
Wait,
checking.
Monica had a comment in the chat, Don.
We thanked Seth last month for driving, but again, for those of you
I
who
was not
missed-
here, but so thank you. I didn't see it in the minutes, so.
For
I
those
just-
of you who missed us saying it, Monica's son was voluntold to bring the door hangers back for us, and he helped bring many of those boxes into the Fairfield headquarters. I'm assuming he did so in Vallejo as well. Okay, next, the holiday party and delegate elections. We scheduled our party last month for November 30th. And we had a committee who said that they were going to look into finding a location, which included Monica, Tom, Paula, and Vernil. So which of you wishes to report on what you found, if anything, for a location?
Oh, I'll fall on my sword. We had some discussions, but we didn't come up with anything concrete, so it's gonna have to be by email. Because we're not gonna meet again before November 30th.
Okay. As I mentioned at the e-board meeting, there was a suggestion of either La Cabana or the Cast Iron Grill in Sassoon.
Right.
And so I would encourage you to consider those as well as other options as you're planning it, and let us know as soon as possible. And again, a reminder, folks, as indicated, this is the year which we will be electing our delegates to the state conventions for the next 2 years. So I would encourage you, if you wish to be a delegate, to show up and make your wishes known for that. So that we know to vote for you and not just make assumptions one way or the other about your candidacy. The next item I put on the agenda is 2023 crab feed / fundraiser. Again, November 30th, the time was to be announced for the holiday party. Probably 7, but it's whatever we get booked. The 2023 crab feed / fundraiser I put on the agenda for discussion by the membership, because my feeling is that if we go another year without having our big in-person fundraiser, people will forget that the Central Committee has a big fundraiser and stop planning to attend. And I would like for us to plan something for the spring. It does not have to be a crab feed per se, but we should get back to doing some serious fundraising. As our treasurer's report indicated, we're going to be limping out of this election with fairly bare coffers. So we need to start refilling them for what will be the grandmother of all elections in 2024. So with that, I'd like to get some feedback on thoughts on having a fundraiser, whether it's a crab feed or some other event, and getting volunteers to help with that. And Brigitte, I see your hand is up.
Yeah, just having done so many crab feeds over the years, I'd like to volunteer to help run, the upcoming crab feed or whatever people want to do, but we do need to have a big fundraiser, and that we should have it early, in the new year.
Okay. Margie?
So people do ask me about the crab feed. People did like it. I don't see any way that we could have it the way we did before. If you remember, it was really crowded in the Sassoon Recreation Department. I don't think, even with not being as worried about COVID, I don't think people want to go to a crowded venue. So we have to think about something else. And I know that's what you said, but I just wanted to bring that up, that we can't actually repeat what we've done before.
Steve Quillen has made a number of suggestions in the chat about possibilities for the event, so I would ask, just make note of those. And I would say that we can certainly look at having seating in the round with round tables as opposed to the long tables, if that is a concern for people.
Chair, my hand
Yeah.
up.
I'm calling on you. Yep.
Okay. So I've attended a couple of fundraising events at the fairgrounds in Vallejo at McCormick Hall. I think that's right. McCormick Hall, McCormack, maybe. And it is very large, has very high ceilings, and people can spread out. And there is a kitchen just like at the Joseph Center. I've cooked in that kitchen, so it's pretty good. And there's places to have bars and whatnot like that. Not sure about the cost, but I would consider, because of what we're still in, and now there's this RSV thing that's going on too. Consider a facility like that has plenty of air circulation and plenty of volume.
Okay, Monica?
I just want to volunteer. You have to look at it, the event center. If I sponsor it, it doesn't cost any money. That's the former public library. So I'm just throwing out, instead of having circle tables, they would be maybe rectangle. There is a kitchen there. I don't know if it's big enough, Tom. I don't cook except for 4 times a year. And then the smaller room could be maybe where the bar is set up, but you would have to look at it and see. I just want to let you know, happy to do it. So just, I'm throwing it out there in the wind.
Okay. So there's some good ideas about the possibility of doing it in some locations that have been suggested. That said, we need more than one person to volunteer to actually help organize this event.
So I will volunteer to help with the bar like we've done in the past. And I think we've already got people who will handle, who will be part of the bar as well. So, and I even still have some wine and stuff that's still in a temperature controlled area.
Okay.
So we got liquor.
And I know that it's been suggested that some of the alternatives for doing a crab feed per se would be a little less labor intensive than the crab was if the labor of actually cooking becomes an issue. But that's something for the committee to consider. So I have Tom and Brigitte and of course, our vice chairs and our treasurer kind of automatic on this. Any other volunteers at this point?
I'll
Margie?
volunteer.
Okay.
And then, Mr. Chair.
Yeah.
Karen has her hand up.
Okay.
Hi, I just wanted to say that the crab feed, someone mentioned it in the chat, but it's true that they canceled the crab season in Alaska. So crab may be something that we may not be as plentiful as it has been in the past. So just so that the committee considers that. And I will also volunteer to be on the committee.
Great. So with that, I'm going to, unless there's other.
Don, can I say something?
Sure.
Steve Quinlan, hold on. Anyways, it was snow crab season that was canceled in Alaska. No one eats snow crabs at fundraisers. They eat Dungeness, so we're all good. Snow crabs, the cheap stuff they put out at the cheap buffets.
Okay. I would like to charge the committee that's been volunteered with, since she's the one here, Vernil, acting as chair, at least for the first meeting, get together and then start looking at the options of venues and then cost options. If crab is too expensive, or if we're not lucky at getting enough volunteers for the labor, we can look at other options, because I would hate to have our tickets get to the point where most of our club members and fellow Democrats can't afford to attend. We were getting up there already before the pandemic. I'd hate us to be just pricing out of reach of everyone. Tom, was your hand up or?
It was, but then I can put it in the chat. I was just going to mention, what about instead of a crab feed, we do a barbecue?
Yeah, it's something we can, like I said, the committee can consider, come back to us and have options and email them around and get feedback. And if we're ready to make a decision in January, great. But ideally, we will find a place and perhaps discuss it at our November 30th meeting. For Neil?
I just wanted to get the names again. Marge, Karen.
I have Brigitte, Marge, Tom. I think I have Monica. And
I'm
Karen.
volunteering to find space.
Okay, well, you can help them find the space and then bow out, I guess. We'll do that. Okay, and any other volunteers, please email Brunel. I think I saw Jeanette's hand was up for that. So I thank you all. And remember, the goal will be to maximize profits. So, just because we don't have to do crab if there's a more profitable solution. And then the next thing is strategic planning session. Ibor talked about wanting to be forward looking for the 24 cycle and have a plan and a budget working forward. And in discussing it, we are looking at February, probably a weekend in February, to meet for that planning session, because quite frankly, between football and the ADEM elections, there are very few weekends that are free. So I believe the Super Bowl is the 12th, so we will avoid February 12th that weekend for our strategic planning. But other than that, does anyone have a preference for either, I guess that would be the 4th or the 18th as a date? And then the next step beyond that would be looking for a location for us to meet, because I would like for us to dialogue in person on that if possible. Okay. I have put in chat the suggestion of the county event center, which would be a good central location.
And for just the committee, it would be big enough that we could spread out.
Yeah, the large room would be big
big
enough for
room.
us to spread out, even those of us who are still being cautious. Supervisor Brown, would you be willing to help us book the event center?
Yeah, that's not a problem, as long as I know the date. I know, people are already booking February because they've called me on stuff, so just need to find out. And I can make it happen. That's not an issue.
Okay. Well, if they're already booking, perhaps I guess the first, maybe the easiest thing to do is look at what's available, and grab
yeah,
a Saturday that's available and let us know.
Right, I can do that tomorrow when I get to work. I'll ask Justine if she'll know what Saturdays. Obviously, we're not going to do football eve. So if you can just text me what couple Saturdays were not available that you wanted it, then I can check the other ones and probably book it starting at 5 or 4 for people to set up, something along those lines, and be done by 11 because so security has to be there. So
you were thinking of an evening as opposed to a weekend?
Oh, I was thinking of but there's 4 or 5 Saturdays in February. That was my thought. I mean, I think it's better to do it on a Saturday, but I just need to know which Saturdays.
Well, you were talking about setting up at 4 or 5, and I'm not eager to have a meeting at 6 o'clock in the morning. So
no, I'm sorry. I think because obviously we want to, I would assume some sort of tablecloth. I don't know. I'm just throwing out ideas. If people want things set up, that's all. I need to book it to have that kind of time. That's all I meant.
okay. All right. Well, we will certainly take that into consideration. You had me scared there at wanting a pre-dawn planning session.
Well, I'm game to do weird things. So anyway.
Well, that'll be one of you that's there. All right. So we will get that booked and send that out to people. If there are dates that you know of in February, aside from Super Bowl weekend, that you're not available, could you please communicate those to me as quickly as possible? Because otherwise we'll just grab what's available and then go from there. And as we move forward to that planning session, I do encourage you to think about over the next couple of months where you want this committee to go, what worked this cycle and what didn't work this cycle, what perhaps we're spending money on that we didn't need to, where we can better put our resources, and how we can do a better job of recruiting good Democratic candidates up and down the ballot. Not that we don't have good candidates now, but I would like to see good candidates running for every single seat in 2024. Color me ambitious, but that would be the goal for that. With that, and I'm not seeing any hands up related to that discussion. Items from the floor. Does anyone have anything else they wish to raise at this time? Wow. Okay, you guys are all eager to get back to preparing your lit for the next block as Jeanette is doing. So that's good to know. All right,
I'd like to
folks.
make a motion, we adjourn.
Okay, we have a
second.
motion to adjourn in a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you all. Please go out and do what you can for your fellow Democrats. And thank you again for all of your hard work to date, and have a good Halloween and Thanksgiving if I don't talk to you before that. Good night all.
Good night, John Boy. Good night, Mary Ellen.